When I was moving from Nigeria to Canada, I had some like US dollar cash and I needed to get Canadian dollars. So at the airport, I saw those like foreign exchange kiosks and I approached them and I asked to change the money to Canadian dollars. I mean, they were happy, the customer experience was great. But what I didn't realize is that the exchange rate was really, really bad. And I lost about 30% of the US dollars exchanging it to Canadian just because of the exchange rate. When I arrived in Canada, I was like, I could have just done this in the bank or I could just have created a USD account and things like that. But I didn't have that knowledge, right? And that's why since then I've always wanted to create opportunities for others not to be in the same situation, right? And that's why I believe that financial inclusion starts with education.
Welcome to another episode of the Future Money series. I'm Nabil Karama, and today I'm in conversation with Uche Uchibeke, a Nigerian-Canadian technologist and entrepreneur. Uche shares his journey from Nigeria to studying in Canada, highlighting the importance of resilience, community building, and giving back. He discusses founding Chimoney, a platform for financial inclusion and economic empowerment, aiming to enhance financial services, support digital identities, and of course the adoption of the Interledger Protocol. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Future Money podcast. So thank you, Uche, for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Laurel, for having me. Really excited to be here and looking forward to sharing my story.
Well, it's great to have you here. Let's start with you. Could you tell us more about yourself?
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. So my name is Uche. I always like to say Uche as in Gucci. And I'm Nigerian, Canadian. Before moving to Canada, I grew up in the southern part of Nigeria, close to the Atlantic Ocean. So growing up in Nigeria was a very rewarding and amazing experience. So I remember walking like 5 kilometers every day to school, and then just coming back, having dinner with my family, and watching the news at night. That was some of the best part of growing up family. And the journey from Nigeria to Canada was a very interesting one because I was already studying in Nigeria, so doing computer science. And I realized that I wasn't getting hands-on experience or practical experience. So I decided that I was going to move to a different country to compete with the best of the best. And it was a long journey that took 3 years. So multiple scholarship exams and trying to get my university education fully funded. So after 3 years, I was able to secure a scholarship and move to Canada to study. And I think it's probably one of the best decisions I made.
Are there a lot of scholarships around? Like if you're a young person in Nigeria, I know now it's a very booming scene, but if you look back into, what is it, your generation, how was it to enter that space?
Yeah, for sure. So this was like almost 11 years ago when I moved to Canada. So they had more scholarship opportunities, especially by different governments in Nigeria. And I guess in most cases, it's very competitive because Nigeria has over 200 million people, and all of these are vying for these limited opportunities. And I mean, the goal of these programs was to expose or bring opportunities for more Nigerians to go outside and study and bring back the knowledge back home. So there are still opportunities like that, but now I feel like they are more limited and even more competitive.
But do these scholarships create a brain drain, or do citizens move back or return afterwards?
So for me specifically, after I moved to Canada and finished school and started working at Shopify and other companies, I realized that there are also very smart people back home in Nigeria and the rest of Africa, right? But the challenge is that the opportunities are limited. So opportunities are not equally or evenly distributed across the world. So I decided to create something with some friends. So a community of developers and aspiring developers, right? And we're able to bring together young and vibrant Africans across multiple African countries and also young people of African descent in the US and Canada and form a community which we're able to grow to almost 50K people in a few years.
Oh, wow, that's truly impressive. Just to clarify this to our listeners, Uchi is now discussing Nadja Hex. Could you tell us more about this?
That's correct. Yes. So Niger Hacks. Yes. Yeah. So Niger Hacks started out in 2018. So the goal was to organize events, conferences, and also bring job opportunities to the community members. But the impact that we had was mostly on connecting folks to opportunities outside and within the African continent. And it has evolved since then. So we organize hackathons, conferences, career fairs, and things like that.
So, what inspired you to create this?
So it was the journey that I was on, right? So starting out in Nigeria, I knew when I watch like the news or when I see what's happening in other parts of the world, there are lots of very smart people are doing amazing things. And while multiple African countries have really, really great opportunities, there are also like additional opportunities outside Africa, right? So I was like, why don't we connect folks or create a bridge between aspiring people in tech in Africa to connect them to other parts of the world, and that's what we did. So originally, the goal was to bring 100 people together in a weekend to build and try to connect with employers at a hackathon. We did the first one, and we got about 600 people to attend the event and got a few partners to join. And then we quickly realized that by bringing people together, just by having a space where people can connect, can meet and network, you just create an exponential impact, right? So community. I mean, now it's popular and it's more known that starting with a community is very impactful. And I mean, we did that and we're inspired by just how smart people in Africa are, and also the realization that Africans have the potential and also the ability to compete regardless of where in the world they find themselves.
It's amazing that you were able to build these bridges and that you're playing a pivotal role in the Nigerian ecosystem.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, it's been a privilege. I think there's nothing more rewarding than just seeing people get opportunities or land roles when from the community, right? So the work that we're doing to connect people to opportunities, I think is one of the most rewarding things ever.
I completely agree, but your career started differently. So, what triggered you to pursue this path?
Yeah, that's a very good one. So I started getting interested in tech when I was in high school. So I remember vividly going to a cyber cafe. For those who are not familiar, so yeah, a cyber cafe. It's like a co-working space, but you buy time to use the internet. And the first time I went there, I was in high school. So I went to a cyber cafe, opened a Yahoo Mail, and started just playing around the internet. And once I realized that you could do a lot and learn a lot from a computer, I was sold. I told myself that this is the space I want to be in. And all of my focus went towards like just learning about computers. So when in high school, all my teachers and even my parents were saying I should like focus on being a doctor and things like that. But I knew I didn't want to do that. So I just kind of said no. And I mean, it was a very challenging situation to say no to parents and also teachers. But I focused on it, yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine being African myself, understanding the culture. I can only imagine what type of challenges must have been for your parents. This being a completely new field for them.
Because my dad, right, when I was growing up, he said he saw a vision that there was like a doctor beside my name.
It's a beautiful
so,
vision, though. So
so me now deciding that I didn't want to be a doctor was like a huge conflict at home, right? And but ultimately, they supported my decision, despite the fact that I was still like a kid then. So they supported my decision, and they saw that that's what I wanted. And my first programming language was actually Basic and Fortran. So I was learning how to code on paper right? So I didn't really have a laptop or a computer. So all of my coding in high school was just like writing code on paper, pen and paper. And I mean, that was like a very good experience. And it taught me like resilience and just being able to create something out of nothing.
Hmm. I completely understand. So it wasn't, you weren't able then to use kind of like, what is it, the cyber cafe to practice more, or?
Most of the classes that we did, we didn't like we're not sitting we didn't have computers in the classes. So the teacher would write the code in the chalkboard, and then we'll kind of copy the code and just like try to like rewrite it. And then our exams, coding exams, were also on paper, right? You write the programs on paper and then you try to run the programs in your head if it works and things like that. And that's kind of how it was marked. But I mean, we had a
Mhm.
computer lab, but the lab wasn't open 24/7. It was like limited access to the lab.
Do you believe that that increased your creativity with the code?
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did, and it also helped me with like my journey here in Canada because even in Canadian universities, when I started, the exams, computer science exams, were still on paper. Having done that in like high school in Nigeria in a more low level language like Fortran was definitely like very very helpful in being able to tackle languages like Java and C++ in university.
So then from studying at the university, we're going to make a slightly larger jump right now. Because you ended up working for companies such as Shopify, IBM, and then of course Coil.
That's correct.
And now with Chimoney, it's almost as if you've been walking down this path towards digital finance. So what inspired you to pursue this direction? Or was it all happenstance?
Yeah, I think an experience I had that was very transformational for me and that inspired me to pursue a career in fintech or the payment space is when I was moving from Nigeria to Canada. I had some like US dollar cash and I needed to get Canadian dollars. So at the airport, I saw those like foreign exchange kiosks and I approached them and I asked to change the money to Canadian dollars. I mean, they were happy. The customer experience was great. But what I didn't realize is that the exchange rate was really, really bad. And I lost about 30% of the US dollars exchanging it to Canadian just because of the exchange rate. When I arrived in Canada, I was like, I could have just done this in the bank, or I could just have created a USD account and things like that. But I didn't have that knowledge, right? And that's why since then I've always wanted to create opportunities for others not to be in the same situation, right? And that's why I believe that financial inclusion starts with education, right? So providing the right education and the right learning for everyone and access to that knowledge is where financial inclusion starts.
But if you would compare it to now, the internet and digital connectivity, do you believe it has increased financial literacy?
Oh, yeah. Connectivity has made financial inclusion definitely more mainstream, right? Many more people are financially included. And that's why there's more that we can do with including more people in the financial ecosystem, right? Because many people have access to the internet right now. And that's why I think we should start transitioning from financial inclusion to economic empowerment, right? Because I mean, with financial inclusion, the story has been providing access to financial services, providing access to banking services, and things like that. But I think we could do more than that, and that's why at Chimoney we are strong advocates of financial inclusion, but even stronger advocates for economic empowerment. And I mean, it's a movement that with economic empowerment, we want to provide opportunities for people to earn and also increase their quality of life. So platforms and products and services that help people connect to maybe job opportunities, connect to easy ways of getting paid for the value they create, and also being able to spend that value locally. So if they get paid maybe by working a remote job an employer outside their country, they should be able to easily access those funds and then spend it later. That's why I think financial inclusion should evolve to.
You have given us examples of opportunities, but if you look at the products or look at your product within the Nigerian context, what would the hurdles be?
I mean, in the Nigerian context specifically, Nigeria has the National Interbank Settlement System, which is instant, probably faster than the US banking system. And how it works is that a user that has an account in a different bank can send money to a user in a different bank, and it settles almost instantly. And in the context of Chimoney, how Chimoney fits into that is that we're able to move money from the US or even Canada to Nigeria and other countries in minutes, right? So a user can receive their money in their Nigerian bank account in basically minutes, if not seconds, when that money is sent through Chimoney. And we see a couple of businesses using like the Chimoney service, especially for paying people that complete micro work or micro tasks for them, right? They need to pay them on a regular basis. And the funds could be anywhere between $100 to even 5,000. And they click a button on the Chimoney platform and
Hmm.
instantly that money is available in the local currency.
Oh, the ease of transaction is quite impressive. If you think about it, it means that the ease of a transaction empowers a person.
Yes. So the way we see it is that yes, more than just access to the money, we're building a way for people to also be able to accept jobs from other parts of the world, right? So before Money, what they would do, especially users in Nigeria and some African countries, they would have to work with a friend to set up maybe a PayPal account and things like that. Because I mean, platforms like PayPal, sorry, don't work in Nigeria just because it's a different climate and things like that, right? So they have to go through a third party to set up an account, and then before they even start, before an employer can give them a job, right? Because if you don't have the means to accept a payment from an employer, in most cases, that employer doesn't want to get them onboarded, right? So how Chimani helps with economic empowerment is providing access to financial services and tools and products that make it possible for people to create value, earn from that value, and also spend their earnings locally.
Yes, I understand. You're giving them additional options for participation. I mean, if you think about one of the barriers to entry, the costs being so high.
Oh yeah, the cost, yeah, the fees, right? So some people are paying anywhere between 10% to 30% of fees, right? From like there's a bank charge, there's a platform charge, there's a foreign exchange losses. So it's a lot of fees for some.
Actually, it's crazy to witness all of these incremental charges. But what I find truly beautiful and quite remarkable is the evolution of the sector, where we are trying to address all of these things. In which direction do you believe it will grow?
Yeah, so I think one of the evolutions is the evolution towards economic empowerment. But more than that, I think AI
Hmm.
has a lot of potential, like in the payment space. When we look at the potential of AI in fintech and also payments, AI can be used for things like know your customer or know your business processes. So KYB and KYC process. And also, AI can be used for transaction monitoring and things like that. And AI can also be used for digital identities. So I think going forward, a lot of fintechs would have AI built in to them, right? They will use this for verifying their users, for monitoring transactions, for providing insights, richer and deeper insights to users, and also for even financial inclusion, right? So providing and recommending the best payment trail to use for specific jurisdictions. So these are opportunities that would start to evolve in the payment space. And when we look at things like Interledger, for example, being able to connect multiple nodes and allowing funds to flow across those different nodes. I think AI could play an important part also in the ecosystem, especially as people start creating AI agents.
So, concerning to your connection to the Interledger protocol, then how did you discover it?
I found out about the Interledger protocol on Twitter or on X, where Sultan, he was an Interledger ambassador. He posted about it, and he was talking about web monetization. So I went online to read about it, and then I was very interested. So I just went on to build a JavaScript library for web monetization. So since then, I started just writing about web monetization and Interledger, and everything just aligned. So I had the opportunity to join Coil as a developer relations director and help to spread the word about Interledger and web monetization for a few years.
How do we, what is it? Support the empowerment of participants on the web.
I think Interledger still has a lot of potential, especially as an alternative to existing monetization options like ads, right? So most of us don't like ads. We don't like those interruptions when we're watching a video or reading some content. We want to be fully immersed in that content and enjoy the content instead of having like distractions. I know there are a lot of people that would be willing to pay a small fee to remove that inconvenience, right? So that's where web monetization shines, providing an option for people to still pay for the value that they enjoy, so the content that they enjoy, and more than just like streaming payment, I think one other use case that web monetization could enable is subscribing for a content. So once I've made a payment for a content or to a platform, I should be able to like consume all the content provided by that platform or that creator. So this could be done via tipping or via a one-time monthly payment, right? And if I have my web monetization enabled account, if I'm using it to view that content, the website or the creator should know that I've already paid for it and then should give me access to that content. So I think that's more than streaming payment. It's interesting, but the implementation might be more challenging. I think having Interledger support one-time payments and subscription payments and tipping could increase adoption, basically, right? The adoption of Interledger will be higher in that regard. And then I have a way to go search for micro tags that I can complete to earn that credit, right? So like a platform that provides that ability to earn, and those earnings go potentially to an Interledger enabled wallet, and then those Interledger enabled wallets are then able to allow the user that earned those amount to consume content or to get access to other resources. I mean, it could be content, it could even be like buying a new product or service, and that one will be powered by open payment.
Thank you for explaining open payments. So you just mentioned Coil. I would love to hear more about your time there. What did you focus on?
So I was focusing on increasing the adoption of web monetization, and at some point the focus shifted to Interledger. So exploring other use cases for Interledger, like tipping and things like that. But yeah, the focus was on getting more developers and more platforms to integrate web monetization, getting more websites web monetization enabled, and things like that.
And then concerning the financial service grant, what is the direction you're taking there?
So there are changes that we need to make. So the current MVP implementation allowed people to get a payment pointer, but Chimoney primarily is a B2B play, or it's a B2B company. So issuing payment pointers to individuals works. However, they are not able to fund those payment pointers, right? They are not able to add payment, money to those payment pointers yet. So what we're looking to do is Interledger payment pointers that are KYC'd. So we can say that a user has a payment pointer. This payment pointer is issued by Chimoney, and this user has gone through like a compliance process that Chimoney has done. In addition to that, that payment pointer has the ability to accept money. So users can load money to those payment pointer from their card, from their bank, from their mobile money wallets, and other options powered by Chimoney's current infrastructure. And also, something we're looking to do is supporting like the e-commerce use case. And so we're integrating with open payments infrastructures to enable users to, and also we're building a consent screen, so a Chimoney consent screen, such that a user shopping in a store or a user looking to tip someone, if that website or that platform has open payment integrated, they would see a pay with Interledger option. When they click pay with Interledger, they are taken to the Chimoney consent screen to grant access for funds to be moved from their Chimoney wallet to the platform. Right, so that's something that is in our roadmap in the next 6 to 12 months. And we're really excited to be able to bring that use case to life within the Interledger ecosystem. But I think a broader use case would be enabling all partners in the Chimoney ecosystem. So any partner that integrates Chimoney's API and issues Chimoney wallets to their users, all their users will have Interledger enabled, right? So that's like a huge network effect, right? So it doesn't just depend on Chimoney, but it also depend on like other partners. So as more partners integrate and issue wallets, that's kind of how Interledger adoption grows via Chimoney and Chimoney partners. So we're really excited for that use case.
So if another founder is listening to this podcast, how do you integrate?
Yeah, that's a good one. So, for anyone looking to build a financial services app, a fintech remittance app, a reward app that needs payment, or a platform that needs to hold client funds, Chimoney is definitely the solution to go with, just because you don't have to worry about compliance across different jurisdictions. You don't have to worry about accounting and reconciliation. Chimoney does all of that for you and provides infrastructure for you to do that, right? So to get started, the Chimoney website, chimoney.io, is a good place to start. You can schedule a meeting with our solutions and engineering team. And from there, we would have a conversation, learn about the use case, and then provide an option for you to build with. There are a couple of options and strategies to launch, and we'll be able to provide advice on how what option to go with.
Amazing. And are there any participants actually from the, I keep on saying it's Naja Hex, but it's actually the name change to World Innovation League. Are they also building then?
Yes, they are. So we have on the Chimoney, there are two kinds of participants building with Chimoney. So the first one are folks from the Nigeria Hacks and World Innovation League community that now work at Chimoney. Right. So they started out as maybe uh, interns at Chimoney, and now they basically own and manage some of the infrastructure that we run at Chimoney. So that's the first use case. So these are building solutions that other folks would launch with. And then the second use case are companies or founders that started out their career from one of the hackathons that we organized, and they are launching like fintech. So a couple of them have gone on to raise a seed round. One of them raised $1.5 million dollars in a seed round to launch their own fintech, and they are going strong, and they are building that fintech with Chimoney. If they are using Chimoney wallet as a service solution, every wallet that they create, every Chimoney wallet that they create and issue to their users would have a payment pointer tied to that wallet, and their users would have Interledger also enabled. So it's
Oh, that's really
yeah, it's
impressive.
kind of a huge network effect and that we're trying to build.
And then while you're still researching or implementing soon the e-commerce use case, I almost want to say, what will be the first online shop where you can test it or use it?
So there are a couple of options that we're looking at. So the first option is a digital goods platform. The logistics for that it's less, so people can buy digital goods with their Interledger wallet. Also make a decision about which one we're going with. We're going to share. And also something else that I think will be interesting is the Shopify Play. I worked at Shopify, so I still have some friends there, and I think yeah, Interledger is definitely a good use case for Shopify for enabling open payments for Shopify merchants, and yeah, yeah,
Let's hope they're listening. Sorry.
yeah. Imagine that all Shopify stores have Pay with Interledger enabled in them, and all users that have an Interledger wallet, regardless of what country they are based in, or regardless of what country or what platform they are on, can basically just buy any product from any Shopify store, and then the merchant gets settled in the currency that they've chosen to be settled in. I think that would be a game changer.
Because you're mentioning it, or you're calling it a game changer, how important will this technology be? So, what value is Chimoney planning on contributing to the payment space or the fintech space? Can you share more?
So, yeah, today, Chimoney, our focus is really to enable efficient cross-border payouts and also disbursements. And we work mostly with emerging platforms, financial institutions, creator communities, and we provide APIs and also platforms for them to do that. But I mean, the future of all of this is an intersection of the community aspect, which is Niger Hacks and Africa Hacks or World Innovation League, to like the payment space. And there are a few opportunities that we see there. So one of the opportunities that we see is using the community side of things to nurture talents that would help build the future of payments within Chimoney, right? So a lot of the team members that we have at Chimoney, they are from the Niger House community, right? So I've worked with them at several hackathons, and then I know like the quality of their work, how motivated they are, and things like that. So we bring them on board to build with us at Chimoney. And also, one of the things we're seeing is positioning Chimoney as an infrastructure for others to launch payment plays. So there's a company today that uses Chimoney to run all of their cross-border payment solution. So they collect payments from US and Canadian users powered by Chimoney, and then they are able to disburse to local currencies, also using Chimoney's payment rails, right? So we want to enable this use case, right, for folks within the community aspect of things, so Niger Hacks, Africa Hacks, and the rest of them, and those that want to launch startups, providing them with a fintech in a box to basically get compliance, KYC and KYB all within one platform and to go live faster. And that's like the direction that we're
That's
going.
extremely impressive.
Yeah. So it's both the several countries in Africa and also US and Canada. So the way it's structured is that we have entities in like the US, Canada, and some African countries, and we work with regulators in some of these countries to get the appropriate licensing and compliance in place. We're then able to provide solutions to other platforms to go live in this market without them having to like do all of the complicated work of getting their own license and things like that. So yeah, regulations and compliance is at the forefront of everything we do at Chimoney.
Is that also our part of the payments rails then also done with the incorporation with the Interledger Protocol?
Oh yeah, so yes, with the Interledger Protocol, we are very, very excited for about the work we're doing within this space. So we're part of the phase one financial services grant. So we're able to do some research and development and discovery into like the compliance aspect of things and how Interledger fits into the Chimoney ecosystem. For the listeners, Interledger is an amazing technology, right? It just connects so much and has the potential to unlock a lot of value for different countries and also enhance financial inclusion and economic empowerment. So we're very excited to be able to build with the Interledger technology. So what we're doing specifically with Interledger is to connect all Chimoney wallets to Interledger such that all Chimoney wallets would have an Interledger payment pointer and will be able to send and receive funds on Interledger. They can use Chimoney wallets to pay for web monetization and also pay for products and services. And I think that's like where like the future lies, being able to pay for a product on an e-commerce platform powered by open payments, regardless of what country you're based in. And this is all powered by Interledger.
If you would compare your own journey with the evolution of the sector, go back in time and think about the fact that you're now leading Chimoney. Are there any successes or then learning moments you could share?
Okay, yeah. So on the personal side, I think resilience and grit have been
Okay.
like helpful for me, right? Because the journey of being from Nigeria, it was like a great experience growing up, like family and all that. And I felt like when I moved to Canada, it was just starting all over again, right? So even as a student, and one of the most challenging times in my journey was when there was a change in government in Nigeria. So, like I mentioned, I had a government funded scholarship, and when governments change, especially in some emerging markets, the policies of the previous administration, there is kind of no continuity, right? So in that case, the new administration basically just shut down the scholarship, and that meant that the tuition and all of the promises and the everything that the scholarship entailed was just in the drain. And there was a time I was not able to pay my tuition, and I got a letter from the school that I had to stop school, and that meant that I would lose my student status and my visa, and I would be deported back to Nigeria. So I just remember one night I was just like so emotional and crying, but I didn't want to just be in that situation. So I wrote a very thoughtful and emotional letter to the school's president explaining the situation. And in that letter, I was able to kind of also provide a solution of how I'll pay my tuition. So I created a payment plan that I was going to pay like a certain amount every 2 weeks and all that. And that's how I mean, thankful to the school, they approved it, and I was able to continue like school and finish school. And before graduation, I got an offer to work at Shopify. So, I mean, the point is that resilience and grit and staying power is important in the journey, right? And just being able to press on and continue despite the challenges of life is something that I think has helped me in my journey so far. And then on the career side of things, so my career has gone through like different phases, right? So I started out doing computer science and psychology. But then when I was in school, I branched out a little bit to do user experience design. So my degree was actually a combination of UI UX design plus computer science. And but I ultimately didn't like work in computer science. I worked in like software engineering. And I think the lesson there is that there's always gonna be like turns to different directions. There are going to be distractions. There are going to be challenges. We might like explore some opportunities, but ultimately, still continuing and also knowing and staying true to like the career goal. It's super helpful. And I mean, for payment especially, I started doing payments at a bank here in Canada, so the Royal Bank of Canada. So 2016, 2017, they brought us on to work on blockchain for client identity verification. So we did that, and then since then I've just been in the payment space. So I mean, it's been a journey, right? From Nigeria, where everyone wanted me to be a doctor, to going hard on computer science, to branching out a little bit in user experience design, going back to like hardcore programming, and then financial services, community and developer relations, and now being a founder.
It's been a journey. I mean, it sounds as if you've gone through a very impressive journey as well. And you actually developed a lot of skills that are necessary to now be a founder.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, yes. Being a founder, it's as you know, wearing multiple hats, right? So that journey has really helped me to learn and explore multiple things. So I'm able to like do marketing. I'm able to like build and work on the product. I'm able to like have like investor discussions, partner discussions, sales, compliance, and things like that. So just that full experience from the bank to a big tech to a small tech company, all of those kind of helped me be the founder that I am today. And I think I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity to be on that journey.
Could you tell us more about the plans of Chimoney for this year and next year? Like, what can we look forward to?
In the next 12 months, we're looking to launch a prototype of the Chimoney Interledger enabled wallets. So that's the phase two of the financial services grant. So we're looking to go live with that. And what that will unlock is anyone that has a Chimoney wallet will be able to get an Interledger payment pointer. They will be able to fund that Interledger wallet. They can withdraw from that Interledger wallet to their bank account in 130 countries. They can use the payment pointer for web monetization, both accepting funds to their wallet and also paying websites on web monetization. So we're very excited about that roadmap. And on the general Chi Money side, one of the major items in our roadmap is to continue to expand our payment infrastructure and onboard more companies to use our API. So we have three companies currently integrating with us and across different use cases. So we want to get additional companies to launch fintechs and launch reward platforms and launch payment plays with Chimoney's infrastructure. And I mean, the roadmap is robust, it's exciting, and there's some AI in there also.
It's exciting for the AI now. I want to know. Because it's something that has always triggered an extreme interest. Ever since I became aware of this space, the digital identity and everything. Could you tell me more about that?
I can speak to that actually because before Chimoney, I worked in the digital identity space for a bit. So there's something in
Mhm.
Canada called Verified Me. It's now rebranded to government login. And I was working on a team that built that in one of my previous roles. And how that solution works was it's a blockchain powered identity solution that connects to bank accounts and allows users to share their identity information and log in to government and other services with their bank account credentials. So it's pretty seamless such that I can share my verified information to banks, to anyone that wants it. So banks for mortgages and things like that. That's the kind of solution that AI would also enable. I mean, then it was more challenging to build something like that, but with AI, potentially it could be simpler because when AI has access to like the context, it can switch context to like a different use case. So, for example, if AI is connected to my bank information context, that information can be used for making decision for lending or even for making decisions about like mortgage and things like that. So I think that yes, AI definitely has a lot of potential in the payment space, and there are a lot of use cases that will be enabled with AI. I don't know if that's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. This was helpful. I mean, we're all here to learn something. I do have one more question, which is very future related. If you would think about a financially equitable future, and you can think of anything. I mean, we try to avoid flying cars and everything. But what would you wish for? What would that be? What would your future look like?
Yeah. So if I could think anything, yeah, anything that I could wish for in the future, I still think there's a lot of opportunity to improve like the basic financial systems. I would provide or connect all job opportunities onto one platform and make it possible for people to complete and report on those jobs on the platform and also get paid, and also spend within the platform. So more of a universal currency of sorts, or an interoperable currency that can be used for commerce, for employment, for food, and making that currency accessible and available to anyone anywhere. And also like building the foundational layers, the foundational components of a digital nation, right? Such that the core of the payment is built, the core of like food and ordering food is built, the core of like fashion and things like that are built in, right? At least people can transfer between themselves, and other people within that nation or that platform are able to then build on top of the core or the foundation, right? So an infrastructure that allows people to build on top of it and then get value when they build. So it's more like a digital nation that is accessible, available, extendable, and interoperable. Yeah, that's the vision. If I could.
Other than that, actually, I just wanted to thank you for being part of the Future Money podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lawi, for having me. It was really fun and engaging and inspiring.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Future Money podcast. For more information about the Interledger Foundation, including published episodes, guest details, our grant programs, or other resources, please visit our website at interledger.org. Also, please subscribe or follow us on Castbox, Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your pods. And if so inclined, we would appreciate a rating and a review. Thank you for listening to this week's episode.